Hello and welcome to the channel. This is the first video on Moth Empire Games, which is my journey setting up my own indie game development studio. So I suspect the first few people watching this are going to be from OC UK. So hey everyone. So a little bit about myself. My name's Chris. I've been a professional AAA game developer for the last 12 years or so. And I've also been a software developer for another 10 years before that, so I've been working a while. And in the games industry, I have mostly been a lead AI programmer, so leading teams of AI developers. And I've been working at various companies, including Microsoft at Rare and Ubisoft in both Germany and in the UK at the Leamington studio, RIP, and a bit of work at Tanglewood Games as well. So I've been around a bit and I've worked on a bunch of different projects, but as people probably know, Ubisoft Leamington is no more. I'd actually quit just before the studio announced the redundancies, but I decided to take a hiatus from game development last year, had a little bit of time off, and I have been doing mostly fintech work for the last sort of 8 to 10 months, which I worked in fintech before I got into games, and I've kind of been reminded why I left fintech and went into games. I really love making games. It's a really cool job. It's really interesting. It's really rewarding, and it's cool making games. It's a really satisfying job. And although I got really quite jaded with the industry, I guess it's my fault for picking difficult projects, but I've kind of decided that I want to get back into making games, and this time I am going to try and do it myself and set up my own studio. So this channel is going to be all about documenting that process. So my plan is to do a weekly vlog like this, where I just do a bit of a walk and talk, which first of all gets me out of the house and lets me stretch my legs because I work from home. Secondly, it's a good way to kind of keep myself accountable for what I say I'm going to do and what I get done. Part of this plan for setting up the studio is that I am still doing contract work for a fintech startup. So at the moment I'm full-time doing fintech stuff, and the game studio stuff I'm building up around that. So time is a bit of a precious resource at the moment. But over the Christmas period and the end of last year, I have been pretty busy. So let me just get my list out. So these are the things I have done since I started on this journey. Number 1, I registered my limited company, which is called Gradient Ascent Limited, which is kind of an AI related thing. I'm not really fussed about the name of the limited company, it's just a legal entity. I'll be trading under a different name, which we'll get to in a minute. I have chosen my studio name, which after a bit of umming and ahhing, I have decided to go with Moth Empire Games. I kind of have a bit of a interest in moths after my granddad was a big moth nerd. I used to go out trapping moths with him, and I've got a little moth tattoo as well. So yeah, I kind of like the name. It's quite catchy. Got the domain, so all good. I bought the domain, mothempire.com. I created a temporary holding page on it. I set up my business bank account, which is with Metal, which is part of NatWest, I think. And I hooked up my accounting software, which is Free Agent. And I got my business insurance, which is professional indemnity, public liability, employer's liability. So all of the kind of legal stuff, I've got that done now. I have my company, have the studio name, have the domain name, have all the insurance I need. So I'm now able to start doing my freelance consultancy work for this fintech company through the business. So I'm all set up and all good on that front. On the game studio specific side, I did a lot of work looking into my tech stack. So I'm probably going to break these down into some individual videos because I think it will make quite good content. But I was spending a lot of time looking into my source control options. So people are probably familiar with GitHub and Git. That's one option. It's not great for game development though. So game companies typically use Perforce, but that can get kind of pricey at scale. So I have settled for now on using Subversion, which is quite an old source control system that's been around a long time, but it sort of fell out of favour after Git kind of took over the world. But it's actually really good for game development and handling binary assets. So, but I'll do a separate video on that. So I bought a little NUC-sized home server, which is a Bosgame P4 Plus, which is 8 cores, 16 thread, 32 gigs of RAM, and it's now got 2.5 terabytes of SSD in it. Fortunately, I bought all this before the prices went crazy. So that is running my Subversion server and my Wiki.js wiki hosting. Now, in order to enable me to work on this stuff while I'm out and about and enable people to come on the project and access the stuff remotely, I am using Tailscale, which is a really awesome tool for it's like a VPN tool, self-hosted VPN, but it uses their infrastructure for the authentication side of it through Google OAuth, which is it's just super convenient. You just install the application, configure your users, boom, you're done. You've got a virtual network and it works out and about. So that was a really nice time-saving piece of software. So in terms of social channels, I am going to start off with just doing YouTube and TikTok, although I'm going to concentrate on YouTube. We do the TikTok as a bit of an experiment and just see how that goes. Hopefully get into a good habit of doing this every week, and also start making more of the content on more specific stuff. So I'd quite like to do some more specific, like, opinion pieces where I waffle about games industry stuff. There's an awful lot of really shit takes on the games industry around on the internet these days. I think it would be nice to maybe have a bit of an insider's opinion on stuff that goes on and maybe be a bit less clickbaity and dramatic. But yeah, we'll see. So, and then come to the actual games themselves. I've got 3 prototypes that I've kind of been sketching out over the Christmas break, and I'm pretty sure I'm set on one of them. I'm not going to talk about specifics here because I think I'll do separate dev diaries for each actual title, or maybe next week I'll just do a bit more of a dive into it. But I'm pretty set on it, but it's going to take a fair bit more just pencil and paper design just to clarify the core loop part of it, which I know the kind of basics of the loop and I think it will work, but I need to flesh it out a bit and make sure there's going to be enough depth for it to be just kind of compelling enough. I think the loop is good for like 1 or 2 goes, but I need to make sure that there's sufficient depth to keep people hooked. So that'll be next week's work. If I'm going to make the most of the social side of this project, then I'm going to probably have to pull a stupid face on the thumbnail, so that's going to be fun. Anyway, I'm going to call it a day here, and I will speak to you guys again next week. Cheers.